Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Joshi Predictions 2026 edition. My favorite video of the year. We did it last year. We're bringing it back this year. It is so much fun to do because I set predictions, I set expectations in many ways for the year. And this year, I wanted to change it up a little bit. I wanted to put some more hot take type predictions, a little bit more spicy, bold predictions out there, along with the ones that I feel a little bit extra confident about. This is a lot of fun. I always love to do this video. Like I said, we're going to go over the ones I made last year on last year's video as well and see what I got right, what I got wrong, and so on and so forth. So hopefully you enjoy this video as well. Before we get to the scheduled programming, though, I ask you if you haven't, because we've been busy, right? We've been busy here on the channel to end 2025, to begin 2026. And I kind of count this as the true official start to the year for us here on the channel. Everything else was of celebration of last year, all the way down to the 2025 5-star Joshi Awards. Like I said on that video, over 400 people voted for Wrestler of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and so many more awards. So please, 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 if you haven't gone and checked that out, please go and do so. Let me know what you think in the comments below on that video as well. I also have a New Year's Joshi review video up, including a conversation about the sensational main event between Miya Watanabe and Suzume, as well as the great matches between Sareee and Mirai, Sareee and Yuri. You have Sanka versus Sareee. You have Yu's retirement. So much on that video. We also have a review up. Wrestle Kingdom 20 match review, Shuri versus Saya Kamatani, and everything coming out of that match. We have the Marigold First Dream 2026 review, as Jamie Ross joined me for that one. That was a lot of fun. We have the Suri Yamaoka first anniversary of the Super Rookie video, a edition of Future of Joshi, which I love doing. So please, please, please go check that out. And then, of course, your Dream Queendom review, as well as Stardom's ready to kick off their year in full force this upcoming weekend. So, with that all being said, let's get to it, huh? Let's get to the predictions. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. Like I said, my favorite video of the year because it's just a lot of fun. What am I going to get right? What am I going to get wrong? Surely I'm going to get a lot wrong, but I did good last year. And I think that's kind of like my big takeaway is I did really good last year. So that's what we're going to look at first before we get into the new set of predictions. So shall we do it? So let's look at what I predicted last year from Stardom. Some things look great, some things not so great, and something that I felt really good about that just didn't come true, like that's a bummer. So my 2025 prediction started as this. I predicted that Momo Watanabe would leave hate and turn babyface. No, that did not happen. She did win the 5-star Grand Prix though, and definitely was in a spot to do all of that, but it did not happen. I also predicted that Saya Kamatani versus Maika would main event All-Star Grand Queendom 2025. Also did not happen. I predicted that Tam Nakano would win the IWGP Women's title. Hot start here. That did not happen. Obviously, she would main event All-Star Grand Queendom and retire from that match, and we all desperately missed Tam since then. I predicted Sayaka Kurara would win the Future of Stardom Championship. Listen, I didn't aim high enough, okay? She won the Cinderella tournament, she won Tag League, she won the New Blood belts, just not the Future of Stardom title. I did predict Rina correctly, so we're getting on the correct track. I did predict that Rina would challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, which did come true. Obviously, came true very quickly. She did so in February of last year against Starlight Kid. I predicted Hanan would become the faction leader for any faction, and ultimately she did take over Stars once Mayu Iwatani left the company. So, another correct one. I predicted the year of SLK. Starlight Kid would have the longest title reign in Stardom this year and would be Stardom's MVP. I think the MVP thing was a hot ticket item. I really felt great about that one. And ultimately, it just didn't make it. Injuries added up. And honestly, the title reign, I think, could have made it. But things change, But I still felt good about that one. Even though it wasn't right, I still feel good about it. Mina Shirakawa will officially sign with AEW. That did indeed come true. The IWGP Women's title will be defended at Forbidden Door. No, it did get defended in Ring of Honor, though. So baby steps, right? But it did not get defended at Forbidden Door. And then a Stardom wrestler will compete in CMLL. Of course, both FWC did that. So thank you to them for getting those right. So that's, hey, 4 right. Not the hottest start, but we get better. We get better. Then we move over to the Marigold and TJPW predictions. We had Sareee Yamaoka would win a championship. Correct. She did within like a week after. Sareee Yamaoka will make it to the finals of a tournament. I actually get that correct. I got to fix that. She won the Twin Star Cup. Haha. I got to fix that one. But I did get one correct. Mariah would challenge for both the United National and Marigold World titles. I got half of that correct, but she did not challenge, and instead she actually left the company. So things to think about there. I said that both Julia and Io Sky would compete in a Marigold ring. I got that half right, so a little credit there. Twin Tower would win the Twin Star Championships. That looked like he was going to be right, and then Koki got hurt. So not my fault there. I'm kind of pumped about the Yamaoka winning. She made it to 2 finals of tournaments, the Twin Star Cup and winning the Rookie of the Year. So, in anyways, I did win. So consider that a check mark, double check mark even. I'd say Marigold's first faction would become official, and that was, of course, Darkness Revolution. Utami Hayashishita would reach defense number 6, successful defense number 6. That did not happen. Utami Hayashishita will defend the Marigold World Championship against a wrestler she faced in her previous World of Stardom title reign. That did come true. Takumi Iroha was the one there. Veni would compete in a Marigold ring. I did not get that right. Yuki Mishiro would become a regular beyond her championship match at the time, challenging for the Superfly Championship. I did not get that right. Now she's more of a regular in Stardom. Who would have thunk? My TJPW predictions, which I did not have a lot of hope in at the time. Yuki Arai will win the Tokyo Princess Cup and the Princess of Princess Championship. Neither of those came true. Instead, they went back to Miyu Watanabe, and I'm not upset with that whatsoever. I predicted Shoko Nakajima and Hyper Masao would win the Max Heart tournament. That did come true. And I also predicted Suzume would be TJPW's MVP. While I do think she was comfortably in the discussion, I think Miyu Watanabe made sure to claim that once more. And then the rest of them, this is really where I hit my home runs. Sareee would win a singles championship. She did. She won the IWGP Women's title, of course. Sareee will put together another dream match on Sareee-ISM. She did. It was her and Shuri, her and Mako, whatever you really want to call it. Either one, I think, qualifies. Sareee will win her first pair of tag team titles since returning to Japan. Nailed that one. Shout out to Spark Rush. Shiro Hashimoto will win the Sendai Girls World Championship in a match of the year contender against Mako Satomura and defend it at least 3 times. That was kind of my whole, I wanted to make it a big one, and that came true. Chi-Chi will win another championship. I was so close. So close. She did win it. She won the Evolution Championship this past week, but doesn't count. I did predict Mayu Iwatani and Sareee would team again this year. I did not get that right. They did not share the ring, unfortunately. I also predicted Momo Nakanishi would compete as part of the Nanai Takahashi retirement tour. That did indeed become true. And my final prediction was that Joshi would get a new 5-star match from Dave Meltzer. So they got multiple. How about that? But they did get it. It actually, the first one we had in years was the Artists of Stardom Championship match between Cosmic Angels and Neo Genesis. People forget that, but see, so all in all, not too bad. Like I'm setting the stakes here. A lot of these predictions, we're just winging it. Some things I'm gonna feel extra confident about than others. I think overall that was pretty good. I'm not here to shoot 100%. I'm here to have fun with my predictions, and that's what we're gonna do this year. So hopefully you enjoyed those. Hopefully you see all that percentage, and you're like, okay, like you get some solid ones right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, counting the Sareee Yamaoka one, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 right. Not too bad, almost 50%, and I will take that. I got some half right and some on and so forth. So this year we're going to try to be a little bit more right, but we're also going to try to be a little bit more bold. I think that's kind of part of the fun. That's why I love this episode. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're going to start off with Marigold. Marigold's predictions will come first. Then we'll kind of kick into like a bunch of promotions, TJPW. I actually have predictions for like promotions I don't have never talked about here on the channel. Thank you to some friends on those. And we'll just see how it all goes because I think covering the entire scene with predictions sounds more fun to me this year, especially because I'm so excited for so much that's going on in the scene in 2026. But we will start off here with Marigold. We'll close out with Stardom and maybe a surprise or two at the end. So let's go. Prediction number one. I predict that Miku Ano will reach 365 days as Marigold World Champion. Not only would that make her the longest world champion in company history, she would be the first to do that, of course, and it would have to be until October. So I think what we're seeing with Miku Ano is someone that this company is all the way behind, all the way in believing. And I think she fits the 365 type winner. So that's my first prediction. Bring it all the way. But we're doubling. We're doubling it. Double Miku Ano prediction. So this is the second prediction. I predict that Miku Ano will defend the championship against an outsider, whether that be a different promotion or a freelancer. I predict that part of this title reign, she will do just that. She will face someone from the outside. I don't think that's too crazy. I think we've technically had that either Sareee as the champion or Utami facing Takumi Iroha in her reign. So I don't think that's a crazy one, but I do think that will be part of that. So kicking it right off with two Miku Ano predictions. My next prediction, of course, I had to get a Sareee Amioka one in here. Would have been wrong if I didn't. I predict, and this is a big one. This is a very big one. I predict that Sareee Amioka will win the 2026 Dream Star Grand Prix. So last year we went with a title. Honestly, could have tossed in them winning the tag titles again. I didn't. I wanted to go bigger. I wanted to go better. And I wanted to go more hopeful from my sense. I predict she wins the Dream Star this year. I think we should be going all in on Sareee Amioka. And I think this year's the year to do it. You saw the new presentation for her anniversary match. You saw the star power. She's ready. Give her the number one tournament in Marigold. Give her the entire thing. And have her face probably Miku Ano in the big time Ryogoku show. That's what I want to see. That's absolutely what I want to see. So that's my big time prediction there, but we'll keep it going. I predict that Mayu Iwatani will win a third championship this year. Right now, reigning as your Superfly champion and your GHC women's champion. Why not some more gold? I think there's plenty of reason to believe she could win the Twin Star belts. There's plenty of reason to believe, hey, maybe we'll win the United National title. Maybe we'll win a title that's not introduced. Maybe we'll win a title from another company. No matter what, I predict Mayu, because it's so early in there, will win more gold this year. And I want her to because obvious reasons, but listen, she's done the double champion thing before, right? 1 3. I'm not saying she will be a triple champion, but I am saying she will get a third championship. So that's my hope. That's what I'm looking forward to here. And this one, I think a lot of people might have been hoping for heading into the new year. I believe, folks. I predict that Mayu Iwatani versus Mio Momono will happen and the Marvelous feud continues. I don't think we're done. I don't. I think it would be silly to be done. I think there's still so much to get into. I think with Marvelous having the big Boontai show, with Marigold having 3 more pay-per-views this year, there's no reason to run away from this. And I think Mio Momono versus Mayu Iwatani is one of the most anticipated matches in all of Joshi wrestling by a large amount. They teased it. They showed us that it's possible. I predict it happens here in 2026, along with the Marvelous feud continuing, which if the match happens, that to me is continuing. I need it. Plain and simple, I need it. This is a good one. I predict that Shino will challenge for the United National Championship. So, of course, we are awaiting, Shino to become a more full-time wrestler. But they have shown very quickly they are not afraid to give her accolades. Her and Sareee Amioka winning the Twin Star Cup in their rookie years, right? her going to the finals of the Rookie of the Year tournament. Why not challenge for the United National title at a big time show and showcase that she is almost there? And by the time she's a full time wrestler, she'll probably be the favorite to win that belt. I'm saying she challenges this year. Give her to Yuzuki. I think that would be a lovely, lovely match. I think she, gets that challenge. Here's a fun one. I predict that Mirai will compete in a Marigold ring in 2026. And we have a lot of Mirai predictions here today. But this could go this could be a double whammy. Maybe she comes back and maybe she faces Mikuano. I think that'd be a wonderful thing. But I don't know. I just feel like Mirai's so here, there, and everywhere. I have a hard time seeing her stay out. And I think, there's still so much there to be had. There's still so much potential to be had with Mirai in a Marigold ring. So that's my big time prediction. And I hope it comes true. I really hope it comes true because I love Mirai. And I have more predictions for Mirai, so don't you worry. We'll look forward to those a little bit later. I predict what they said will come true. Mayu Iwatani, Io Sky, Io Shirai said, listen, next time this ever is a possibility, let's reform Thunder Rock. Let's have a match. I predict Thunder Rock returns. We will get Mayu and Io on the same team, on the same side, teaming up, probably Marigold Grand Destiny. There's no reason for me not to believe this is possible. We've had the Io match year after year now, right? The Utami, the Mayu. That's our match of the year from the 5-star Joshi Awards, for those who don't know. Why not we have a top-tier tag team match as well? I predict just that these two come together, and that's exactly what we get. That's what I want us to get. So, fingers crossed that Thunder Rock does indeed return. I predict we will have a second faction formed in Marigold. Last year it said we'd get our first. We did. Darkness Revolution was official. I think we got our second faction. I don't know who leads it. I don't know who's in it, but I think we get our second faction, and I really hope we do. I've liked the freedom that comes with the Marigold roster and having the heel faction, and everyone else kind of does their thing. But I do just love factions. I always will love factions. So I'm predicting we get a second one. I think it's an interesting twist on the Marigold roster if we get a second one, maybe led by like an Utami or something. But we'll see. We'll see. But my next prediction does have to do with Utami. I think Utami had a phenomenal first day of 2026. So perhaps this is bold. But I think Utami thrives outside of the spotlight. And that's not a shot at her. That's just, you saw it, you see it. I think Utami Hayashishita will be Marigold's MVP without winning a major title. So I don't think she's going to win the world title. I don't think she's going to win the GHC. I don't think she's going to win the United National. But I still think she's going to have that great of a year to be the MVP of the promotion. Like, I think that is possible. You put her in big matches. You put her in big opportunities. You have her lead like a tag team or something. I think there is so much potential because if she is bringing this energy that she brought at First Stream, why not? Why not? It's a bold one because, you have the Mayus, you have the Mikuanos, you have the Victoria Zukis, right, as your top champions. But there's a reason Utami's kind of, sticking around here at the top, doing what she's doing. I think she's going to have a fantastic year. I think she's going to have a better year than she had as world champion, and I'm very excited for it. So wanted to be a little bold with that one. My next prediction for Marigold, the second to final prediction for Marigold. I predict we have a new championship introduced. I think a lot of fans have been wanting it. I've seen it, right? We have 4 titles so far. We have the United National, we have the Marigold World title, we have the Superfly, and we have the Twin Star. Of course, the GHC is kind of part of Marigold as well. But I think a championship should be introduced. Could that be trios belts? I think that's the favor in the clubhouse. If you talk to enough people, I think Marigold does trios matches better than anything. If you go from a show-to-show basis, if you watch their house shows, if you watch any card they really put on. They have great trios matches. They have a great uh, um, plan of how to let everyone jump off the page and let everyone succeed and let everyone shine within said match, within that kind of match. And I think a new belt, whatever it may be, and hey, that's why I left it a new belt. I'm not predicting an exact belt because I have no clue. They could bring in a high speed belt. I know Superfly is like kind of like that, but you get my point. They could do anything. They could do absolutely anything, but I do think a new championship feels like it's time. Um, because I've seen so many people ask for it, and I think the roster's ready. I think the roster's bulky enough and healthy enough and ready enough to have one more set of belts. So we'll see what that turns out to be. But hey, I'm overall very excited about this year. But my final Marigold prediction, it's a big one. It's a big one. Megaton wins a match. That's right. That's right. I saved the best for last. Yeah, sure, we had some juicy ones along the way, but this is the boldest of them all. I predict Megaton will win her first match because boy, oh boy, am I rooting for her all the way. I had to save that for the last one. It was going to pop me big time. So that's my final prediction for the Marigold ones. So just to go back through them, it was Mikuano will reach 365 days as world champion. Mikuano will also defend the title against an outsider, whether it be different promotion or freelancer. Sareee Amioka will win the Dream Star Grand Prix. Mayu Iwatani will win a third championship. The Marvelous feud continues, including Mayu versus Mio Momono match. Shino will challenge for the United National Championship. Mirai will compete in a Marigold ring. Thunder Rock will return. A second faction is officially formed. Utami Hayashishita will be Marigold's MVP without a major championship win. They will introduce some sort of new belt, and Megaton will win a match, the biggest of them all. So we will see what comes true, but those are your Marigold predictions. But perhaps Marigold comes back up here in a little bit. Perhaps. Now we move over to TJPW, and this one could come true very, very soon. I predict that Miyu Yamashita will re-enter the Princess of Princess title picture. Listen, I've been saying this to people recently, especially after how great of a start TJPW had. But man, I am watching Miyu Yamashita, and I think it's been a fascinating tale of seeing her kind of, do the American stuff, kind of go worldwide, but always come back to TJPW. And I think TJPW at its best can be better than it's ever been because we have Miyu Watanabe as the ace of the promotion, as the top dog. But Miyu Yamashita was that ace, was the one leading everything. So why not have Miyu Yamashita get back into the title picture at one of the major shows, whether that be starting this weekend, whether that be for the Summer Sun Princess, whether that be winning the Tokyo Princess Cup and challenging for the belt. It has to be one of them. I think it's time. I want to see it happen, and that is my main TJPW prediction. It may not be bold, but I think it needs to happen. I want it to happen. I think you have potential for one of the best matches of the year if it does. And then this is kind of the more bold one. I don't get tournaments right. Okay, like I just don't. Like it is one thing, especially the Cinderella, which we'll get to. But I never get these tournaments right. Last year, I predicted Yuki Arai to win the Tokyo Princess Cup. Wrong. I honestly would just do that again, quite frankly, if we want to be all honest with each other. But I don't want to go back to back. I don't want to predict the same thing 2 years in a row. So I predict that Arisu Endo will win the Tokyo Princess Cup. Why? Well, she did just lose to Mirai, so she's freed up a little bit. And I think she's phenomenal. And I think after last year, how far they were willing to put her, there is belief in there to give her that opportunity. There's belief in there to push her up that hill. So I hope that they see what I see, that, she's my favorite TJPW wrestler. So maybe there's a little bit of fandom in there. There certainly was in the Marigold predictions. But I do predict that will happen. So that's what I'm hoping. And that is what I hope we get to see from TJPW this year. They started off hot. Keep it going. Keep it going. I predict that we will get the showdown that Sareee has been teasing us for years now. Since I've started interviewing Sareee, it's always been teased. She's always brought up Takumi Iroha as a match, as a singles match she wants, but we have avoided it. We have avoided it since she's returned to Japan, and we even got them as a duo, right? Spark Rush was sensational as a duo. But I think it's time Spark Rush collides. I predict Sareee versus Takumi Iroha for the AAAW Championship will happen. I think it has to. You look at that Yokohama Buntai anniversary show, and I feel like that's the main one. But we also have Sareee Chronicle. That wouldn't shock me if it was that one. Either one of those shows, I think this singles match has to happen, and it will happen here in 2026. We got a different one. We got a unique one. Shout out to Choco Pro. Shout out to my friend Trent, who kind of inspired this one. And when I say kind of, I mean he did. But I kind of wanted to throw some dart throws for myself. Throw some darts at some other promotions that I plan to watch a little bit this year, but don't really know too much about. But I do know that Miyu Yatsuba rules. I know that. And I'm predicting that she will be the one to defeat Rita Yamashita to win the Super Asia Championship, because hell freaking yeah, let's do it. I got to shout out Trent. It was his idea. He gave me the help of what makes sense here, and I'm going with it. I'm going with it because hell yeah, we want the powerhouse of the formerly known Gato move, now Choco Pro, to win. So that is that prediction, but we won't stop there. Another change up. Shout out to my boy Xavi. I predict we will have a first-time Pure J open weight champion. Your current champion is Saki, but I predict that either Kreia, Akari, or Chie Ozora will win that belt this year. Let's get crazy, man. A little Pure J predictions. Come on. You gotta be fired up about that. And I really like Kreia. I really like Akari. I haven't seen too much of Chie Ozora in a few years. But I like the idea. And let's keep getting crazy. I'm not done. I predict that Yukina Uehara of Actress Girls, you see the GLEAT logo on the back, that's neither here nor there. I predict that she will become the AEWG Actress Girls champion. Why? Because I think she freaking rules, quite frankly. I'm getting into the Actress Girls grind this year. I'm seeing what they got cooking. And she was, I kind of started at the end of last year, and she was the one that jumped off the page. Like, oh, this is a star. This is a star in the making. So I predict Yukina Uehara wins the Actress Girl Championship. This is a big one. There's a lot here. I predict Mirai in the year 2026 will compete in Marvelous, Sendai Girls, TJPW, Seedling, Pure J, Oz Academy, Sareee-ISM, Wave, and Choco Pro. I predict she will compete at least in one match of all those promotions. If we miss one, it's wrong. I predict that's what she's going to do. I think she's going to hit every single spot. I think she's going to compete in every single spot. And I think it's only right that she competes in every single spot. So hell freaking yeah. Let's get it, Mirai. I'm so excited for the indie run, the freelance run. Oh, she's not a freelancer. Whatever it is, she's crushing it. I've loved the opening to her year, the Chanyota match, the Sareee match, the Urisu Endo match. It's been a great year. So why not keep it up? Why not check all the boxes? I know the Seedling one's happening. We already have that scheduled, so that's great. TJPW's already happened. Everything else, though, needs to come true, and I hope it does. I believe it will. So let's see if it comes true. I believe that Maria Kuga will finally, for the first time in her career, challenge for the Beyond the Sea Championship. There's a lot of exciting prospects in the world of Joshi Wrestling. I think Maria Koga is right up there with the best of them. Seedling has found their next ace. Seedling has found their next star. With no Arisa Nakajima anymore, with no Yoshiko around, with Natsuki Tayo obviously being retired, they need to build that up. And they have a great youthful foundation. And I think it starts here. You get Maria Kuga in a Beyond the Sea Championship match. They're having the big Beyond the Sea title tournament that I'm really excited to check out myself. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about it on a Joshi Weekly next week. But I think it's time. I think she gets the challenge for that title this year. I think she has to because that is what Seedling should be building to. But that's a fun one, right? Another Seedling one. I even got to catch the wave prediction here, and this goes back to my dog for real. I predict Mariah will win the 2026 Catch the Wave. It just feels right. It just feels right. I predict Mariah will walk. I don't know if that's even remotely possible, but let's get crazy. I predict that Mariah will win Catch the Wave and challenge for the Regina the Wave Championship. I hope that happens. I want her to collect all the belts at this point. I do predict. Just keep it going. She'll get singles gold. I predict that Sareee. Shouts out to the Sun God, the best in the world. I predict she will get singles gold once again. Could that be the AAAW Championship? Could that be the IWGP once again? Could it be a belt we're not thinking of? I think it's all on the table, and I think it's gonna happen. I don't see Sareee going this year without some gold around her waist. Shouts out to Chi Chi, the Barbie girl, winning the Evo Strong Women's title to kick off the year. Super pumped about that. But no. We're not predicting gold. I predict that it will be this year, 2026, after becoming one of the true staples alongside Sareee and Miku Kane, that Chi Chi will main event her first Sareeism event. I believe it. I wanted to see it. I think that has been the goal, right? Getting her to that level. I don't know if she'll face Sareee. Maybe she teams with Sareee. Maybe she teams up with someone else against Sareee. But I want Chi Chi to get that opportunity. I think she's ready. I think she's so fantastic. And I think she only keeps getting better and better and better. I expect this to be a full on breakout type year for her after the injury year last year that kind of slowed down the momentum a little bit. But yeah, I need Chi Chi and Asari as a main event, please and thank you. I predict that Chihiro Hashimoto will defend the Sendai Girls World Championship more this year than it's ever been defended. The record is 7 times that belt was defended in 2024 between, I think, 3 or 4 champions. I believe she goes all in. Team 200 kilograms not existent anymore. Can't lean on the tag team stuff. She may stay way out of the tag team title conversation. And that means that world title can be defended more. 7 is bold. This is as bold as it gets. But Big Hosh, listen. You are one of, if not the best wrestlers on the planet. You are the top champion. Let's have a year that fits that. I believe in her. I believe she can do it. I want her to do it, and I hope she does it. It's a new year for Hosh. It's a new year for Sendai Girls. Let's see it go crazy, please. And this is kind of a fun one. I believe that tag team wrestling in Joshi will be fully re-inspired. We will have a ton of new, exciting teams. We will have legitimate match of the year contenders that are the conversation of all conversations, and there'll just be a more general focus on tag team wrestling throughout the scene. This is a very nuanced, odd prediction, I know, but it's one that I feel the need we have to see. We need to see it because I think tag team wrestling at its core can be the best form of professional wrestling in the entire world. And I have Sareee and Miku Kane here because I think they're kind of the showcase of that. What those two did as a tandem and had started the year off as a tandem. They're fantastic. That's what I'm looking for. Chi Chi and Miku Kane, potential. Spark Rush type feeling, potential, right? All these different things. I think tag team wrestling is going to be huge in 2026, and we're going to get all those things to come true because I need it to, and that counts for throughout the scene. Throughout the scene, this isn't just a indies. This isn't just one of the other. No, everywhere, and I hope it does come true because I think tag team wrestling needs that. Last year wasn't as big of a tag team year, but listen, Bobo Bananas tag champs. BMI 2000 has been really good tag champs. Shiaki and Misa Matsui really good tag champs. We'll see what Magenta does now that they have the AAAW tag belts. We have Uber Eats over in TJPW, and then the Max Hart kicks off the year, right? So I believe that the tag team push can happen this year, and that's one of my predictions. So we will see how that comes true. And I just like this picture because I think Miku Kane deserved some love on this episode. Now we get to our stardom predictions. You may have been waiting for this one, and we got some juicy ones, so don't you worry. And then maybe a surprise or two at the end, huh? But hey, let's get to it. I try to keep these videos a little bit shorter because I'm just saying I predict, and then we go. But my first prediction for stardom shouldn't come as a shock. I predict Stardom will announce their first Tokyo Dome show by the end of 2026. We keep talking about it, we keep hinting at it. The popularity, I don't know if it's going to get higher than it is right now. Saya Kamatani still running, still going. I know she's taking the month off, but if it's going to happen, it needs to happen. And I think the announcement has to come this year for sometime in 2027, unless they close out the year with it or open up the year with it. I think the announcement's coming, and I think that's the best way to start off these stardom predictions. It's time. It's time. They want to do it. They are going to do it. You could feel it. They talk about it literally every week at this point. I think we get that announcement sooner rather than later. I know this has been the talk of the town recently. I haven't said a word about it anywhere publicly, but I predict that Mahito does indeed join Stardom. It seems like we are well on their way with the videos, but hey, I needed a potential layup here. It'll be kind of funny if it ends up being wrong, though. I predict Mahito does join Stardom, though, and I think it's one of the more fascinating additions that they could make because I don't know who Mahito is at this point. You know, once upon a time, Mahito was by far my favorite TJPW wrestler. She's probably my favorite TJPW wrestler of all time because I think at her height, 2021, 2022, she is just a sensational storyteller. And her potential addition to Stardom creates a lot of curiosity for me in terms of, does she fit into the Stardom ring? Does she fit into the Stardom style? I don't know, but based on the videos, based on everything, I'm going with it. I predict she does indeed join Stardom, and we'll see from there. But I am intrigued by it. I'm wondering about it. And hey, if Mahito can recapture that magic that she once upon a time had, because I know she has it, hell yeah, hell freaking yeah. So that is that prediction. Mahito indeed signs with Stardom. I predict that Hanan will win the One Year Stardom Championship. I predicted this 2 years ago. I predicted it in 2023. It did not come true. I I predicted last year. I don't think, did I do anything with Hanan last year? I feel like I did. Oh, so I said she'd become a faction leader. But we're running it back. We're running it back. I think this is the year she wins the Wonder of Stardom Championship. If she doesn't, I'm going to be very confused. I feel like Konami is champion so that Hanan can beat her. Um, we'll see if that ultimately pays off, but if it doesn't, my predictions later are gonna also lose. So we will see. But I think it's Hanan's time. I think it's Ben Hanan's time. I predicted 2 years ago, like I said. So we will see if that does come true. Maybe she just goes to the world title picture. I don't think that's out of the question either. But hey, we'll see. I predict, this is a big one. I predict Micah will defeat Saya Kamatani for the World of Stardom Championship. The question is, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? It sure feels like Micah's going to be the one to do it. I'm not going to put the title of All-Star Grand Queendom on it. I did that last year. It didn't come true. But I do think Micah is the one. I think Micah is the one that they want to defeat Saya Kamatani. I think they are showing that to us right now. It'd be really cool if Starlight Kid did it out of nowhere. But I think that's it. I'm pretty set with Micah being the one to do it. It'll be kind of funny if Saya Kamatani just doesn't lose the belt this year. That would be really funny too. I would get it, but I have a lot of Saya Kamatani predictions to come, so I'll give you more reason as to why I feel like this has to be part of that puzzle, and probably earlier this year, the better. I predict that Hina will challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship for the first time in her career. Last year, I predicted Rena would do it. Now I'm predicting Hina would do it. Hina had a incredible 2025 that saw her just absolutely dazzle, absolutely shine. And she's become one of my favorites. I honestly, my top two favorites in Stardom right now might just be the twins. Like, they are just sensational. And I think Hina is ready to step into that spotlight. Perhaps in Tochigi in the hometown, much like Rena did last year. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe she does it if Hanan wins the belt. I think that'd be cool too. But I am predicting Hina to challenge for the Wonder this year. This is a fun one. I wanted to do a lot of these. I had so many Fuwa-chan ideas, because her debut is fantastic. Honestly, like, if you wanna talk my favorite wrestlers at Stardom, the potential of Fuwa-chan is so very exciting. It's so very exciting. Um, so I am predicting this is a double on one. I am predicting that Fuwa-chan will main event a pay-per-view in her first year as a full-time wrestler, and she will win a championship, whether that be artist, goddesses, maybe they go higher than that. I think Fuwa-chan will win gold, and I think that's kind of the role we're on, especially with FWC being around. I would love to see it, and I think Fuwa-chan, the way she debuted, the excitement that came with how she debuted, the sky's the limit, like I Stardom's gonna go all in on her and rightfully so. So that's my prediction. I predict that she's gonna have a big time 2026, a big time first year. I'm sure she's gonna win that newcomer of the year award in Tokyo Sports, and things like that. But I'm just very excited for what she brings to the table. You see that shining wizard? How could you not be excited? Come on now. I predict that we will get a new faction in Stardom. I don't know if that means another faction ends, but I think we'll get a new faction in Stardom, a newly named faction. Could that be the FWC Fuwa-chan connection? I hope so. But I'm feeling good about that one. I think we get some sort of new group uh of some fashion, much like we got Mi Vida Loca last year. I predict. I don't feel good about this one if something else doesn't come true. But I predict Rina will be the one to defeat Hanan to win the Wonder of Stardom Championship. So kind of a two-parter in that I need Hanan to win the belt first, but then I'm giving the belt to Rina. We're having the sister beat her older sister for the belt. I'm kind of getting impatient of the lack of pushing Rina. I know she's the Artist of Stardom champion. I know she had a fantastic year last year, but I wanted more. I wanted her to win the Wonder of Stardom title, and she didn't. So why not this year? Why not you look at Dream Queendom as potential? Maybe Hanan beats her into Chigi or something, or All Star Dream Queendom, and then she reigns until Rina beats her at the end of the year. That's what I want to see. That's what I hope to see. That's what I need to see. So we're predicting a big win for Rina. I predict that the IWGP Women's Championship will be defended in AEW for the first time. I could have said Forbidden Door, but that would have been too similar. So we're going to go with AEW. Ring of Honor didn't count. Okay. Ring of Honor didn't count. But I think Shuri, now that she's double champ, I think there's better chance than ever for her to head over there, especially after having the little appearance at All In. That I think there's real potential for her to defend the belt in AEW. So feeling pretty decent about that one. It still hasn't happened yet, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I think she gets the first one done. I don't feel good about this one, folks. I never feel good about this one. I've never done this well. I've never get this right. I never do. I just never do. So let's do it. I predict. I wrote multiple names for this. I have no idea who I'm picking right now. I have 3 names picked. I predict Rina will win the Cinderella tournament. I'm not going to get it right. I probably just doomed her of ever having the chance. I've never predicted this tournament correctly. Even last year when I could have, I didn't. I want Rina to win it. My 3 options are, admittedly, I picked Fuwa-chan, Rina, or Hina. So in so many ways, I might just take all 3 and still get completely wrong. But I predict one of those 3 to win. Okay, we're gonna give myself a chance here. Fuwa-chan's the craziest, obviously, but why not? Hina and Rina, I mean, I have predictions for them up and down this, and it would make sense with them potentially challenging for the Wonder of Stardom Championship this year. So, yeah, that's what we're settling on. Feel great about it because I've nailed this, and I've always nailed the Cinderella tournament. Not. Now we get to kind of the juicy ones. We have 3 more here. 3 Stardom ones to close us out here. So I already predicted Saya Kamitani would lose the World of Stardom Championship, right? Coming off the Tokyo Sports MVP. She loses the big show at the Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom to start the year off. What is happening? What is going on with Saya Kamitani? Well, I think there's something about the redemption arc coming back around and winning. I predict these are 2 pieces, but they're 2 Saya Kamitani ones. I predict that Saya Kamitani will win the 5-star Grand Prix this year. I think that is how we get her back into the title picture, back into the big moment, perhaps a Tokyo Dome moment. Maybe. I also predict, because this is the crazy one, this is the bold one. I predict Saya Kamitani will be kicked out of Hate. I think the babyface run, full babyface, I know she's still technically a heel and beloved, but whatever. I predict the full-on babyface run for Saya Kamitani happens sooner than later. And it could come after failure. It could come after losing the IWGP Women's title match, losing the world title, and then gets kicked out of Hate, maybe comes back, wins the 5-star Grand Prix, then goes on to recapture gold at the top of the company. Listen, I'm trying to bring some bold ones, and that one I feel fun. Like, that one's fun to me. Will it happen? I don't know, but I'm sticking with it. I think these are 2 separate ones. They don't have to both happen. Saya Kamitani will win the 5-star Grand Prix, and she will also be kicked out of Hate. And she'll lose the world title, but that was a different one. So we will see if those come true. I think it would be very exciting for her in the next chapter of her story, right? With Tokyo Sports having been won, the MVP having been won, do they want to try and follow it up with a more fascinating year this year? I think they do. So we will see when we get there. Told you we had a big one. And this is like, it's not even that like big of a deal, I guess, but it kind of is. In so many ways, I'm not going to predict that she's going to come back and wrestle, but I do predict that Tam Nakano will reappear for the first time since her retirement match. As everyone knows, at All-Star Grand Queendom, after losing to Saya Kamitani, we watched the lights go out and Tam Nakano was gone from existence. Since then, Stardom has essentially sold merchandise that's like, you will remember Tam forever type things. Like the idea that she is gone, just completely gone. I believe she will return in some form and appear for the first time since then this year. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm missing Tam. Maybe it's because I feel like it's just crazy we haven't seen her anywhere. But I don't know. I just feel like we get something from Tam Nakano this year, even if it's just saying hi to everyone. That is my final Stardom prediction. Or is it? No, we have a bonus round, folks, to wrap us up. But before we get there, here are my Stardom predictions. Stardom will announce their Tokyo Dome show. Hanan will win the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Micah will defeat Saya Kamitani for the World of Stardom Championship. Hina will challenge for the Wonder of Stardom title for the very first time. Fuwa-chan will both main event a pay-per-view in her first year and win a championship. A new faction will form. Either Fuwa-chan, Rina, or Hina will win the Cinderella tournament. Maki Ito will officially join Stardom. Rina will defeat Hanan for the Wonder of Stardom title. IWGP Women's Championship will be defending AEW for the first time ever. Saya Kamitani will be kicked out of the 5-star, or nope. Saya Kamitani will win the 5-star Grand Prix. Saya Kamitani will also be kicked out of Hate. And my final Stardom prediction, or is it Tam Nakano will reappear for the first time since her retirement. Maybe she doesn't want to, maybe she never will, but I think people would really love to see Tam. So that's kind of how I wrap that up. But we don't wrap up the awards yet. We don't wrap up the predictions just yet. I have 2 more. You think I was going to be done with the Sareee predictions? You think I was just going to stop at winning a singles title? Nah. There are 2 matches that Sareee wants, and she has made it perfectly clear how much she wants them. And I'm going to predict they both happen. I predict that Sareee and Saya Kamitani will finally have the showdown. the most hyped, most hopeful championship, non-championship, the most hopeful singles match in Joshi is this one right here. Sareee has continuously said, "Why are you running? What are you doing? Bring it." Sai Kamatani said she wanted it, and then she took it away. No. We have nearly a full year to get this done. We have nearly a full year to make this happen. It needs to happen. Sareee versus Saya Kamatani, because Saree's 15th anniversary year needs to be gigantic, and I think this is a big part of it. But I don't stop there. Speaking of matches that have been denied of Sareee thus far, I also predict we will get Mayu Iwatani versus Sareee once again. This match needs to happen this year. They are both celebrating their 15th anniversaries. Team 2011 right here. They are the two that lead Joshi forward for years and years and years. I predict that Mayu Iwatani and Sareee will share the ring again this year. I predict Sareee will get her match with Saya Kamatani. I need them both. I want them both. I know the world wants them both. And I think it happens. And that's how you wrap up your 2026 Joshi predictions. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. We will be back next year to see how wrong I am. And I don't feel necessarily great about all of them. But I'm hopeful. I am hopeful because I think all these predictions will make a fantastic year in Joshi Wrestling if they all come true. I hope you enjoyed me kind of hitting some other promotions along the way. Obviously, putting an emphasis on STARDOM, putting an emphasis on Marigold, putting an emphasis on Sareee, kind of things that are just staples of the channel here, right? And we'll see how it all goes. But thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for all the support over the past number of weeks. I keep saying it, but man, oh man, we have had more content the past couple weeks than ever before outside of the 5-star and Dream Star daily reviews. But this has been different, right? Something different seemingly every single day. 5-star Joshi Awards, Shuri vs. Sai Kamatani review, first Dream review, Suri Amioka, uh, first year anniversary piece, my Sakurai piece, reviews, Sai Kamatani, all these different things. I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for the continued support. I want to thank you all for coming back to this channel and keeping me going. It means so much to me. The road to 1,000 subscribers continues. We'll be back. Don't you worry. Listen, there's a lot coming up this week. There's a ton of Joshi wrestling this week. We will have a massive Joshi weekly, kind of like a podcast. If you're a fan of the old 5-star Joshi show, you're getting one next week, sometime midweek next week. That's when we'll be back right here on the channel. We'll talk the STARDOM Corkins. We'll talk the Marigold Corkins. We'll talk some Seedling, perhaps. We'll talk who wins that TJPW match to get the Grand Princess title match. And whatever else I can think of, whatever else is coming up, we'll talk about it all right here on the channel on a new version of Joshi Weekly. So until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for the support. Hopefully you enjoyed this predictions video. And I ask you, if you made it this far, drop your predictions for the year below. I want to see them. What do you have cooking in your mind? What do you think we see from Joshi this year? Whether they be bold, whether they be simple, I don't care. Put them down below. I want to see your predictions. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for the support. And until next time on a special Joshi Weekly, thank you very much. So long. See you later. Bye-bye.